CarolinaPrepper.com. If you're looking for quality food storage for hiking, fishing, hunting, basic survival needs, or just for everyday use, check out our food storage line at CarolinaPrepper.com. We also carry other fine quality products such as our can concealment holsters for men and women. Keeping your firearm under cover and within reach puts confidence in your hands in any situation. Our products are 100% American made. Check us out today at CarolinaPrepper.com. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Hey, Maya K. Chicago. Hey, Chessie. Good to see you. Kiddo. Hey, Alexis. Tooth. Toothy, how are you? Hey, Daniel. Good to see you. How is everybody? Hello, hello. Hey, Darlene. Good to see you. Hey, from Woodcarver. All right. Hey, Catherine. Good to see you. Good morning. Hey, Shara Miller. How are you? Good morning from Georgia. Well, good morning right back at you from California. All right, as you come in, hey, Robert, good to see you. As you come in and invite your followers, please, I'm going to read Psalm 63. O God, you are my God. Early will I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh longs for you in a dry and thirsty land where there is no water. So I have looked for you in the sanctuary to see your power and your glory. Because your loving kindness is better than life, my lips shall praise you. Thus I will bless you while I live. I will lift up my hands in your name. My soul shall be satisfied as with marrow and fatness, and my mouth shall praise you with joyful lips. When I remember you on my bed, I meditate on you in the night watches, because you have been my help. Therefore in the shadow of your wings I will rejoice. My soul follows close behind you. Your right hand upholds me. But those who seek my life to destroy it shall go into the lower parts of the earth. They shall fall by the sword. They shall be a portion for jackals. But the king shall rejoice in God. Everyone who swears by him shall glory. But the mouth of those who speak lies shall be stopped. Amen. Hey, Hugh. Good morning, Robin. How are you? Yes, I know. It would make a great song, huh? Hey, Chicago Pops. All right. Whew, got a lot to talk about. Good morning. Yes, we're winning. Jeff Flake, bye-bye. Hey, Danielle, how are you? Jeff Flake, was anybody... Let me get the sunlight off of here a little bit. Did anybody care that Jeff Flake, left yesterday? I know, it's like, bye. Hey, Julie. Hey, Jules. Hey, Renee. Yeah, bye, Felicia is right. I don't think anybody really cared. Hey, Jamie, good to see you. Good morning, Barbara. If we could get rid of McCain, well, I think McCain will probably be going pretty soon. The swamp is self-draining. And I love how Jeff Flake lives up to his name of Flake. You know, and this is really, I knew this, but it's even funnier. Jeff Flake actually was born and raised in a place called Snowflake, Arizona. I mean, how does that happen? Seriously, how does that happen? Snowflake. Oh my gosh. I know. I had to go back and make sure that wasn't a joke, and it wasn't. He didn't really leave. He's still, yeah, I know, 14 months. So in 14 months, hey, Patrick, what he's going to do is going to be he's going to take John McCain's place and just, be out there as much as he can talking down about the president. Okay, Carmen. The stories can't get any better. I know, Chessie. Really. Chicago Pops, we're realizing we are done with them. Yeah, and Jeff yesterday said, I know, Robin, he is a snowflake. They were saying yesterday that he's going to be talking out more about the president. Hey, Eric. And that other senators are going to be talking too. Hey, one Fred. Real bad issues during yesterday's chat. I reached out to the phone and blammo broke the screen. Oh, no. Hey, Kimberly. Wow, did you just try to go into the phone? How are we doing? Hey, Lee. So let's talk about, I want to talk about a little bit more about Uranium One. I don't know if you heard my show yesterday. Good morning, Shannon. Good to see you. Good morning, everyone. God bless us with all comfort, love, and understanding. Amen. Hey, Marlene, what a great day. Yes. $600 later. Oh, Fred, no. Don't touch your phone ever again, okay? Anyway, after this show, I did a show called God's Views on Political News with my co-host Bill Cloud. Hey, Rhonda, good to see you. We talked about Uranium One. That show kind of skyrocketed. It's at about 1.4 thousand views right now. Oh, good. You watched it, Cully? One of the things that about Uranium One that I think nobody's asking right now, and there's not reason to. We're trying to find out what happened so much that we're not asking why it happened. Great radio shoe. Thanks, Barbara. I know you meant show. Yes. Good morning. And so yesterday on my show, you and Bill were great yesterday. Robin said, thank you, Robin. I talked about what I thought was the real purpose behind Uranium One. What the everybody was trying to do. Did not throw the shoe. Thank God for that. Hey, Gary. And I'll just tell you what I think. I think this whole thing with Uranium One, I do believe that there was a lot of knowledge about what it was. I think there was a lot of knowledge after doing research that the FBI most assuredly did in their investigations. And you're in West Texas. You could feel for him. I know. Bill was in West Texas yesterday. I really believe that the intent, and this is just my supposition, my opinion. I believe that the intent was to give the uranium to the Russians in any way possible. And it didn't matter whether or not anything bribery, extortion, or anything else was going on. Nobody cared. Because the honest final goal was to have Russia take that uranium to Iran to use against Israel. That's just my opinion. So I think in every time that we talk about Russia, Russia's connected with Iran. Good morning, mighty blessed one. And Iran is a sworn enemy of Israel, and that's all they want to do is destroy Israel. So it makes sense to me. We had a president who did not like Israel and went over to Israel and interfered with Israel's elections to try to get Netanyahu, not allow him to get reelected. Yep, he hated them. Mighty Blessed One agrees. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Did you hear Flake not running? Yes, Rhonda. He said yesterday he wasn't running. Everybody's like, bye-bye. Who cares? I wrote an article today. Jeff Flake's not seeking re-election. Raise your hand if you care. Because nobody really cares. Mueller is guilty of covering up Obama, Clinton, Russia collusion, Shannon said. And there again, we have the fox guarding the hen house. We really do. He was in charge of that investigation. He was the FBI director. Underneath him, leading that direction, was Rod Rosenstein. So, I think that these two need to be looked into. Now, here's the thing that I think we as the American public are going to need to do. While Iran was recently bombing on Israel. Yes, Catherine, isn't that just kind of, go figure, right? Good morning. Glad you're back with prayer and unity, as well as ex-spouser. Been watching and checking in with Jackie Seculo on updated petition, etc. Cool, Kimberly. We in Arizona care. Very happy. Yeah, no kidding. Well, Rhonda, we're not in Arizona, and we still care that somebody better is going to get in. Hopefully, it's Kelly Ward. Hey, Josette, good morning. Thank you. Thank you for the compliments, Josette. So here's the thing. Good morning, Hassan. I think we as the American public need to, as quickly as possible, demand that there be a special counsel appointed to check into all of this. And I think that the special counsel needs to come from Congress. Congress needs to be in charge of this, not the DOJ. I don't think you're going to have Jeff Sessions doing anything because, again, this is connected to Russia. And some people are saying to me sometimes, well, how is this connected to Russia? Because that was during the election. The Uranium One was long before that. You can make an argument that everything that happened preceding in the Uranium One led up to the campaign and what happened during the campaign. So there's a connection there. Another connection, another reason that Mueller shouldn't be in there. Seems like Sessions does nothing. Well, he does nothing when it comes to Russia or the Clintons or Hillary specifically. He is doing other things like MS-13, sanctuary cities, yada, yada, yada. Not what we want. Catherine said Sessions is a flake. I mean, I understand, as I've always said before, I understand what he had to do, why he did what he did. I get it. Because he had to recuse himself after seeking legal counsel and legal counsel telling him that he needed to recuse himself. So it goes back to, if you're ever brought up in front of the bar association and they're looking at your license, they're going to ask you, did you seek legal counsel? And the answer is going to be, yes, he did. And then it's going to be, why didn't you do what they told you to do? Why did you continue to do something else? Sessions is doing great work with cleaning up our cities of gangs. That's right, Shannon. He's doing those type of things. And again, there's a false statement going around by Periscope pundits who says that Sessions never told President Trump that he would recuse himself. And that is not accurate. That's false. Because what he told during the entire time that he was in front of his confirmation hearings, he basically said that I will seek legal counsel, and if need be, if they tell, because even Franken said, if they're asking you to recuse yourself, will you do it? And he said yes. And at that time, President Trump did have the ability at that time to say, I'm withdrawing Jeff Sessions from the confirmation hearings. I mean, it would have been odd, it would have been something unusual, but it could have been done. I have no problem with Sessions, Robin said. They need to replace Rosenstein immediately. Rosenstein, McCabe need to go. They also need to replace Mueller. Because, again, you have a guy who was connected to Uranium One and who is looking at something in the Russian, with the Russian campaign type stuff in the elections. As I said, that you could make an argument that they're connected. So not only has he got a conflict of interest because he knew Comey and everybody else, but all this other stuff too. I thought Mr. X, I blocked that person, so I don't know if they're back or what, but good morning, how are you? But again, if we don't, having the House and the Senate Intelligence Committees look into things is not, they don't do anything. They just sit around and do nothing, basically. I'm not saying the special counsel would do a lot, but it would be better because they have the power to bring in a grand jury, subpoena, all that type of stuff. And the House and the Senate, I don't think necessarily do. And that's why you appoint a special counsel. Hey, John, good to see you. So you need a special counsel. And we just haven't gotten one. So we need one to look into Uranium One. We need them to look into the dossier. We need them to look into the Hillary emails. You probably need about 3 special counsels to look into things. And then you've got to find somebody who's not connected to the former FBI or the former Obama administration. Gowdy said this morning he has no problems with Mueller. Wrong. I know. For Gowdy to say that, I'm just surprised. I don't know why he would say that. I mean, Gowdy is, used to be a prosecutor and everything else. So it makes no sense to me that he would say that. Unless he knows something that we don't know, that makes absolutely no sense. Because there's a conflict of interest almost in every way that you want to look at when it comes to Mueller. So why Gowdy, who, like I said, big-time prosecutor, former prosecutor, would say something like that, it makes absolutely no sense. Will the Obama-Clinton crime family die in the golf club prison? I don't think so, Fred. Funny how bad the left is looking. Yes, John, they are. But they don't think they're looking bad. You still have people that go on Tucker Carlson's show and claim that, Clinton's going to be fine. Clinton didn't do anything wrong. Clinton's squeaky clean. And I don't know how you get that and how these people actually believe that. However, going way, way, way back at first, people were happy with Mueller. Yeah, they were. Nobody really complained. I think there was like one or two GOP that actually complained. I can't remember their names now. Paid hacks, Cully said. But it's amazing that we let them sit there and we know that there is a possible connection. And is Mueller going to protect himself? Hey, Bob, is that you? I haven't seen you in a while. Didn't recognize your numbers. Now I do. Tick, tick, boom. Yeah. Hey, Jerry, good to see you. So, I know. Wow, just wow. So none of it makes sense. Mueller has a ton of conflicts. Alex Jones believes the elite are turning on the Clintons because their dirt is hurting elite globalism. Huh. Ryan just said the FBI needs to cough up the documents about everything they have to Congress. Wow. So Ryan, let's see. Ryan is up for re-election, so now he's getting tough. Where were you, Ryan, a long time ago, needing to say that? Someone is definitely covering for someone. I would say so, Fred. I would say so. But I think, again, if we just let this go and the House and the Senate look at it and we don't ask for a special prosecutor, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Our government is so corrupt and people are finally waking up. And Jerry, I think it's more than that. And you know this as well as I do, that this is a spiritual battle and God is revealing this. I mean, this stuff is boiling over right now, all of it at the same time practically. Yes, we need a special counsel to investigate Mueller. Well, John, that would, if you're investigating all that stuff about Uranium One, you're going to find the connection to Mueller. Whether it's any wrongdoing, I don't know, but you're going to find that connection, and that's what they need to be looking at. And again, just kind of going after Tony Podesta, it's like, I don't know, is that throwing them a bone? State needs to clear the decks. Catherine said, I'm not sure. Shocked, yeah. At Bush's speech the other day, Sherry said, well, I'm not. Oh, Christopher Wray needs to clear the decks. Yeah, he does. If you look at Bill Clinton, George H.W. Bush, and Jimmy Carter, they're all part of the Trilateral Commission. And if you don't know who they are, you need to really read up on that. And if you want to know what's it take to get put in Twitter jail, whoops. Had a call come in. Hopefully that didn't knock everybody off. Shoot. I have to restart because the call came in and knocked everybody off of Twitter. Sorry, guys. Just 1 second. I have to restart everything. Somebody was asking, what does it take to get put in Twitter jail? I don't know. Maybe we've just found out. Here's part 2. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. Hey, Marlene. Hey, I had a call and it knocked everybody off, so sorry about that. All this is why we need to focus on God. Can't trust the government, only God. Robin said, Fox News is all over it. Boy, the tables are turning. God will bring justice. POTUS will be vindicated. I know. It was a call that came in. Hopefully it doesn't come in again. But if you're on, I guess if you're on Twitter and Periscope, it knocks it off. Thanks for coming back, everybody. This'll just mean, yeah, Bob, it didn't shut me down. Somebody's saying it shut me down. Periscope did, and it wasn't Periscope's fault. It was a call that came through. I have been screaming uranium for over a year. You have to understand why it is valuable. What are we doing selling it to Russia? Well, John, before you got here, I said my theory on why it was sold to Russia is because Russia works with Iran, and Iran sells it, gets it from Russia, right? And then they use it against Israel. As you remember, Obama did not like Israel. Iran, Pakistan, India, etc. Yeah, Jerry, I got your YouTube yesterday, or I guess this morning you sent it about a couple of hours ago, and I watched that. Trust me, I've been. Yeah, Bob, I was just saying, Periscope didn't knock me off. I had a phone call that came in, and that's what knocked me off, and I had to restart it, and it messed up everything. Hey, Kelly, good to see you. Um, Trilateral Commission, Bilderberg, Club of Rome, Council on Foreign Relations, all elitist globalists. That's right, Shannon. Twitter's pretty cool. Trust me, I've been pretty blunt, but I've been suspended on Facebook. I know, Catherine, on restrictions. So everybody on Facebook, are you still on there? What's a Trilateral Commission? Sherry, there's a book that you should read, and I'm not saying this just to, not answer the question, but it would be really well explained in this book. The name of the book is by Patrick Wood, and it's called Technocracy Rising. Lee, I had a phone call that came in and it knocked it off. So hopefully the people on Facebook are still there. Somebody said it wasn't working, but I think it's still there. But Technocracy Rising, that's a book that you really need to get. Yes, Technocracy Rising by Patrick Woods. I know, don't say the V word. I know, John. Don't ever say that. But yeah, that book will explain to you about everything. And it's also a book that let me know a long time ago that everything about my government was nothing, that I couldn't trust them. That what I thought about my government was absolutely untrue. That everything that I had been told to believe about them being, okay, Patrick, thank you. Hey, Joseph. About them being honest and for the benefit of America, blah, 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 just wasn't really true. So that kind of opened my eyes. It sure seems like it, Sherry. I mean, my gosh. I mean, I don't know how you look at all of this evidence and not know that. Hey, Debbie, good morning. Good to see you. All right, now I want to talk about this dossier, and I want to go down and sort of run down a little timeline because while we all kind of know about the dossier and what was involved, some of us don't know everything, and I kind of want to talk to people so they get a really good understanding about what's going on. The dossier, now this is a source that claims all this. Hey, cut the nonsense. This is part 2. We got cut off in part 1 because I had a phone call that came in, so sorry about that. Hillary Clinton in the presidential campaign and the DNC, hey Renee, gave money to Fusion GPS. Okay, so that's the first thing. And again, we pretty much know this. Now, how that happened was, it was through an attorney, Mark Elias, from the law firm of Perkins, I guess, Coy. I don't know how that's Coie. I guess that's, I'm going to say Coy. So he's the attorney for the DNC and the Clinton campaign. So he's the one that actually went out, according to this source, and these are all allegations. He went out and hired Fusion GPS on behalf of the DNC and the Hillary Clinton presidential campaign to look into what was going on with then Donald Trump, candidate Donald Trump. Fusion GPS then hired the former British intelligence officer Christopher Steele to actually write the dossier. And Steele has, ties to both the U.S. intel community and to the FBI. Now, here's the other thing that a lot of people aren't talking too much about, and I don't know why, because I find this very interesting, and I find that it's something that we ought to know the answer to. I think I know the answer, but yes, Elias is the attorney. So Elias is the one, and I'll talk about why he's so important in a minute. But prior to Elias being, hiring Fusion GPS, right, there was an unidentified Republican who was, during the GOP primary, who was subsidizing Fusion GPS and finding out information about Donald Trump. So who was that? Anybody, any guesses? There you go. Well, Jeb, yes. Shannon saying McCain. I'm saying it could have been, hey, Amber, it could have been a number of people. But my guesses are it was Jeb. And Catherine is saying McCain as well. I think it was Jeb. Just my honest opinion. Lorianne thinks it was Jeb too. And I really think that he wanted to know what kind of dirt there was out there. And it could have been McCain. It could have been both of them. Why not work together, right? He likes working together with people. Hey, Spencer. I think Jeb helped fund it and McCain was in on the transaction. Wouldn't surprise me. Like I said, they probably worked together. One, Fred, we're talking about the dossier. The Fusion GPS dossier. They're all over mad about Trump winning. Bushes are. Well, I think that in the beginning, Jeb was just horrified that Donald Trump would be a possibility. He was the one speaking out the most about it, if you recall. And I do think McCain was the, whether he delivered the money, called him up, whatever. I really do think that he was involved. It could be another reason why he's still ticked off about the fact that Donald Trump won. I know, it's like that, the Clue game, right? Colonel Mustard in the kitchen and whatever. I mean, seriously. But nobody's talking about who that person is because I think we need to know who the turncoat is, right? Because that's screaming to the sky. I think that's important to know who these people are. If it's McCain, which we all probably think he had a hand in it, another reason we know he's already a part of the swamp, but another reason we need to get these people out who are in there, anybody that had a part in this dossier. Yeah, well, and the Bushes and Clintons, Shannon, as you know, I mean, they've gotten pretty tight, right? I mean, we always see them together. Hey, Robert, the finances have been subpoenaed on Fusion, so it will show who paid, hopefully. Amber said, shouldn't it be fired if they were involved with something like that? Well, they can be, they can't be fired. All the swamp money behind people were behind Jeb. And you wonder, is it going to be somebody where they're going to put their name on it, or is there going to be sort of a straw man, right? Is there going to be somebody that took the money for, if it was John McCain, took the money for John McCain and paid him, just like we have Elias, who paid everything and did everything for the DNC and the Clinton campaign, right? So their names weren't technically on it. So according to the reports, Fusion gave all of their information to Mark Elias, and here's the big thing that you're reading about, and this is going to be important. They're not sure what information that Mark Elias had that he actually gave to the DNC and the Clinton campaign. So, in other words, they're going to say, well, gosh, we didn't know that. We didn't get that information. No, we never saw that. He never gave it to us. And there's going to be attorney-client privilege, so it's going to be very difficult to get all this. The Bush fortune is tied to Saudi Arabia, and it behooves Bush to keep the swamp fluid. You can research and dig up dirt on anyone. It's fabricating lies and deliberate misinformation. That's slander. Yeah, that's true. We got to hear from the witness. Yeah, we need to have the FBI informant. But that informant is from, are you talking the one in Uranium 1? Or are you talking about somebody from, because Fusion GPS, remember, they pled the fifth. They're not going to talk about anything. So, I mean, and we need to have somebody else who knew about all of this and that we haven't heard of or we haven't talked about. Or it hasn't been talked about in the news. Who else knew this that isn't under a privileged communication that can talk about it? The one they are trying to get the order rescinded. That's for Uranium 1. Didn't they all say the fifth? Well, at least two people from Fusion GPS said the fifth, pled the fifth, yeah. So also not clear who knew about Steele and Fusion GPS. So they're going to say the ones at DNC and got to put the screws to Fusion. Yeah. They're going to say that they didn't even know what the attorney was doing. They're going to say, we never knew about Fusion. We didn't know money was transpired. What is obvious, though, that an attorney typically doesn't go out and do something unless he's directed by someone to do it. So somebody had to tell him something. Maybe go out and find out what kind of dirt you can get on Donald Trump, and then he took it from there. That's quite possible. And that's what they're going to say. They're going to disavow any knowledge, they being the Hillary Clinton campaign and the DNC, they're going to disavow any knowledge of Fusion GPS. Totally. And they're going to say that they didn't get any information. Bob, I think you need to go out and come back in. Other people are seeing me and they're not frozen. I think it's just you. We will wait how long the media will ignore the bombshell. They'll ignore it, Josette, for as long as possible. They're still defending Hillary, so it is going to be a while. Now, here's the part that needs to really be looked into. You know that after, yeah, it's Facebook, Robert, that he's talking about, and there's only one person that's frozen on Facebook. Everybody else can see me, but there's one person. After Trump was elected, Facebook under Comey paid Steele to proceed with intelligence gathering. Now, good, Wanda. Wanda said not frozen, and she has a share button today over in Facebook. That's good. So my thing is, if you've got the FBI and their job is to go out and investigate, why is it that you're paying the Fusion people and Steele, let's say, I don't know if it was, I think it was just Steele, but so you're paying Steele to proceed with intelligence gathering. What? Why would you do that as the FBI? Does that make sense to you? If you could, too, we're at the halfway point. If you would please retweet and share this, I would appreciate it. Yeah, it makes no sense. Other than the fact that, you know, Comey saw what type of information was the lies or whatever was being spewed out there, and he wanted this guy to continue. But again, this is why, yeah, Crooked Cat said, right? Wanda, I don't have a share button, Chessie said. Democrats and intelligence, the two don't mix. I know, Cully, oxymoron. They only stopped because he was outed to the press. Right. And so, Marlene, you know, if you're the FBI and it's your job to investigate people, why are you paying somebody else, hey, Robin, to go and get that information for you? Because if you want information to make sure that it's classified, it's secret, it's not going to be leaked or whatever, you wouldn't pay some guy on the outside who's a private company to do the job of the FBI. Crooked has a dog leg. I think dog legs are straighter, Marlene. I really do. President Trump was right about Crooked Comey. Yes, absolutely, Catherine. I mean, it's ridiculous. Spencer's still in Facebook purgatory. I recall reading long ago Steele was paid by the page, so he added to the dossier ridiculous information. Wow, Jerry. I haven't seen that, but that would make sense. Not sure why you'd be paid by the page, though. That doesn't make sense. I can see hourly, but I can't see the other way. Now, here's how much money was paid out. Fusion Law Firm paid $5.6 million in legal fees by the Clinton campaign sometime between June and December, like June 2015 and December 2016. The DNC also paid $3.6 million for legal and compliance consulting going back to November 2015. So they've got more than almost $10 million. $10 million for this dossier. And neither Clinton campaign nor DNC specifically directed Steele. Again, that's what they're going to say. And as we already know, two people from Fusion already said we're pleading the fifth. So I think unless, you know, you're going to get this information from somebody or people start pointing fingers in a kind of a criminal type investigation. Right now, I mean, tell me if you will, just going out and getting information on somebody What's the problem with that? Anybody, any guesses? What's the problem with that? What's the problem with going out and digging up information on somebody? No guesses? It's what, how much did McCain get paid? Ah, pleading the fifth means I know nothing, hear nothing, and do nothing, and guilty. Barbara said none. Yeah, I mean, basically, right now, just gathering information on somebody and paying it. Good morning, Metal. How are you? It's exactly what private investigators do every day. Hey, Veritas. So they do that every single day, and there's nothing improper about it. So, the difficulty comes with who paid for it, and I don't know why that might be a problem either. Yeah, Susan, look. What am I looking at, Barbara? Yeah, I mean, I mean, I don't see an issue. I really don't. Oh, the shooter's brother was arrested. Wow. They found stuff on his computer. Unbelievable. So did that just happen? Barbara, where did you see that? Stephen Paddock's brother? That's what Barbara's saying. The guy who knew nothing? Yeah, exactly. Yep. Stephen Paddock's brother was just arrested. I guess that's breaking news. Does anybody have a source on that? Trump should sue for defamation of character. I know, Catherine, he really should. It's very hard to do that when you're a public figure. However, in his case, because it was so salacious, I think that he would have a case to do so. Breaking all over stations there in Las Vegas, according to Marianne, who lives in Las Vegas. So that's really interesting. So I guess, what, he's the mastermind? ISIS wasn't involved? I mean, what are we going to hear this time? That'll be interesting to see what they say about that. And while I'm thinking about it, there was another, I know he was a terrible liar. There was another casualty that came out of Las Vegas. Oh, it says arrested for child porn, Jerry is saying. And how do you, and that's what Nikolai is saying as well. That the Vegas shooter's brother was arrested for child porn. Which they've been watching him like a hawk. Oh, now, yeah, it gets deeper, right? They aren't sniffing around because they are short of heroes that need recognition on the left. Yeah, on his computer. The child porn was on his computer. That's what's being reported. Unbelievable, huh? There's so much that goes on in Vegas, isn't there? And elsewhere. What I wanted to tell you about, the other thing about Vegas is there's a story that Paddock was bringing in kids from the Philippines, Marlene was saying. Child porn, how handy, why now, Robert said. Ugh, Marianne said. Yeah, we need to find out more information. No wonder he knew nothing, yep. Well, I mean, sounds like a great family, Robin said. I mean, there was something odd about the brother from the very beginning. Hey, Linda. I think everybody kind of knew that. We just didn't know exactly what the oddity was about. A reason to get him in? Could be, Barbara. And these, again, are all allegations. So there's nothing that he's been convicted of. The story is still unfolding. Brother stinks. I agree with that, Robert said. So, again, it's on TMZ and on NBC3 in Las Vegas, Nikolai said. Brother knows the whole family is not. Seen a story on the shooter was trafficking in children, Cully said. Wow. Yeah, of course he's taking the fifth. Well, he better take the fifth. I heard Paddock family had some transport company, possible gun running, need to research. It's all Vegas radio and TV, Marianne said. Your typical dysfunctional family. Yeah, I'll keep it all in the family. Well, and remember the brothers saying how much, Stephen Paddock helped the family, and they wouldn't have been anywhere without him. Hey, Nick, good to see you. So, I think that was a close-knit family. The other story I wanted to tell you about Las Vegas, though, that remember Charleston Hartfield? He was the young African-American man who was a member of the Las Vegas Metro Police Department. And I think at one time he had also been a veteran. He was a veteran. Basically, his mother was at his funeral. And as she was going back to the hotel on the day of the funeral, she had a heart attack, hit her head, and fell down on the escalator. She was put on life support, and she died 2 days later. And so, basically, she wanted to be with her son. Thank you, Chezzy. She wanted to be with her son, and I know. Poor Lady Marlene in some ways, but I totally agree, but she really wanted to be with her son. She didn't want to live anymore without him. Pedophiles are cowards and sneak around. They don't pull off a Vegas. That's true, John. I agree with you on that one. Yes, there you go, Jamie. Raised a couple of, so tragic. So that really is another tragedy of the Las Vegas massacre. That's an indirect tragedy and a casualty there. But I'm glad for her, if that was her wish, that she is with her mom. That the mom and son are together. They're building their fake case, Marlene says. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'll ever know what happened in Vegas. I really don't. And again, we've dismissed ISIS in the first hour. So the FBI has anyway. Let me give you some other news as we're coming up on the at the end of it pretty soon here. 45% of the people in California don't speak English in their homes. Anybody surprised by that? Just what's troll block? Yeah, you saw that. Jake Morphinius has good YouTube on this summary of Vegas. Well, together where maybe she was good, kids bad, dad was a bank robber. Is there a problem with that? I don't know. If you don't speak another language but English, there is, I guess. Got my shocked face on, Cully said. Hell no, Catherine said. I mean, that's not unusual, because a lot of people at home, even the kids who do speak English, their parents don't speak English, and that is bad. I know it's a shocker, Jamie said. That's about the FBI. That's really bad for the families, because their children usually take advantage of them because of that. It did used to be part of Mexico, cut the nonsense, but we won that war, so there you go. Wayne makes me so I should not have to press for my country. Yep. So the other thing is because we don't make sure they assimilate, Jules said. Well, and again, there's no reason when you have, and you're right, when you go to every organization, every agency, and there's somebody there who speaks your language because they're required to be there, then basically there's no reason to learn English. And while the kids are learning English in school, the parents are not learning English. And as I said, the kids like to take advantage of their parents. Can you make them assimilate if they don't want to? Well, I think part of the way you do that, Robin, is not providing every service in their language. That would probably help. I mean, if I go to Mexico, I don't think there's going to be too many people who provide English-speaking people for me. Or if I go to some other country, they're not going to care if they speak English and I I'm able to do that. So it is good to be multilingual. Nobody says it isn't. Cut the nonsense. They should want to be part of America. Yeah, I mean, if you go to a country and your intent is to live there, I would think that you would want to assimilate into that country. If I went to Mexico and that's where I was going to live, I would certainly learn how to speak Spanish. That would be my number one goal. There is a law, but never used. That's true, Catherine. No habla español. My grandma spoke German and assimilated. My family was proud to be an American. Yep. Have you been to Mexico? Yes, I have. Cut the nonsense. Of course I have. Okay, now I second the brother's arrest. It's now hitting Twitter. Okay, thanks, Robert. The pedophilia ring is much deeper and wider than we could possibly think. That's true, Josette. That is so deep and so wide with it's a $1 billion industry. How did I like it? It was okay. Let's see. I don't know if you're hearing this is kind of breaking news this morning. If only they were true here in New Mexico. English is a second language in New Mexico, Patrick said. This is white privilege for you. That's right, John. U.S. doesn't have a national language. It used to. Okay, so the news this morning. George H.W. Bush apologized to actress Heather Lind after she accused him of sexual assault on Instagram, which has now been deleted. She said that he touched me from behind repeatedly at a press event in March of 2014. He told a dirty joke as well with Barbara standing next to him. And this was when he was in, his wheelchair. And he apologized through his, I guess, attorney, saying that it was an attempt at humor. And the woman says she remembers at the time a security guard blaming her for standing too close to him and that Barbara had rolled her eyes when she mentioned that. Yeah, so I don't know how much farther that's going to go, but it was an attempt at humor. A sick attempt, a weird attempt, but I guess that's what he's saying. The only state that the state constitution is written in both Spanish and English, wow, is in New Mexico. Daniel said he's a perv. Been all over the face of this earth except to Mexico and Canada. Not interested in either one, really, Spencer said. Ask the people who are in Canada if they want to go, if they want to stay in Canada. Ask Gary and ask Hugh how they like Canada. Yeah, I guess he's still feeling feisty. All right, Jules, thank you. God bless you. See you tomorrow. Be safe. Hey, Miss Penny Lane, didn't see you. State of California has English as its official language in the state constitution. Yeah, they do, Nick. For how long? Who knows? Canada's very pretty, Barbara said. I'm sure they would. I think they would agree. Alaska, yeah. Victim blaming, Hugh said. Yeah, never gets enforced. That's true, Nick. In other news, the NAACP is warning African Americans, and they actually already did this in August. They warned them about the racial insensitivity of American airlines and told them, to be careful. And there were supposedly 4 incidents, which is weird because I don't think we heard of any of them. And after you cut off, didn't know what happened. Oh, yeah, I know, Miss Penny Lane. Thank you. You came over here. So supposedly what happened was French Canadians pretend to not understand or speak English, Sippy said. A woman had asked, an African-American woman with an infant was on the plane and asked if her stroller could be retrieved from the baggage claim area before she got off the plane. And there were nothing saying what happened, what went down, what words were spoken, whatever, but supposedly she was removed from the plane. My guess is she may have been not wanting to leave the plane until she got her stroller. And they said, well, you have to leave the plane, and so that was considered racially insensitive. But again, we're not getting any of the facts other than that, and I don't know what the other 3 are. I'm sure I have no idea, Danielle. or Daniel. Bizarre about American Air, only stories of African Americans. Well, and again, I haven't seen anything in the news, and American Airlines isn't commenting either. So I don't know. Had one of a seat moved between lady and two Muslim men? I don't. My family never taught me that there was us and them. We need to. Yeah, well, but there are a lot of people who like the racial divide. So, and that started, not started, but was really exacerbated under Obama administration. So let's see. Israel has approved 176 settlements on eastern Jerusalem. And did any of you hear about? Did you hear about the new Amazon key? Did anybody hear about that? Anybody? No. Chessie said no. Anybody else? Yes. Okay. Sippy. Nope. Alexa said no. Nope. Well, let's see. I know Robin is crazy. Yeah, Amazon key. What happens is if you have a delivery from Amazon, and you sign up for this program, they give you a camera and a special, something that you can swipe a card through that you put on your door. And when you have a delivery come to your house, I guess they ring the doorbell. If you're not home, then they get permission. I think they do get permission to enter the house. They swipe the card. The camera comes on, and the camera records everything about them coming inside through the door. And then they close the door, swipe the card again, and they're gone. Yep. I know. Can you imagine that? You give them permission to come into your house and put the package basically right by your front door. I know, it's crazy. I mean, yes. Yep. And here's the other thing. They're going, somebody like that who they will know when you're at home, when you're not at home, only if they leave it in the shed. Can't get past the dog biting them in the butt. Dogs would have a fit. Yeah. And the dogs might get out. I mean, they're opening themselves up to liability as well. Amazon would have fun at my house. The dog would flatten them, Lee said. It just, you're giving people more access to your private property, more access to your private knowledge. And go to the store. There's always someone home at my house, Debbie said. Yep. They would leave with two nubs for legs, too many chihuahuas, Marlene said. Perhaps to a secure mudroom. Record everything in your home, too. Sounds like it was not well thought out by Amazon. The beginning of trouble. Yeah, I just... Yeah, Gary said he heard about that. Somebody, I guess in Canada, did a show on that. I just I can't even imagine. Because, what if you just happen to not care and it's your last day on the job at Amazon and you just, don't matter what you do and you just come through and hide your face when the camera comes on? I mean, all kinds of stuff. I've heard about Amazon and Dish Network merging, introducing voice recognition, Catherine said. Wow. It's a counter reaction to delivery thieves. Yep. You know what they should do? I mean, I don't know if anything. Well, they can't really install anything there at your house. I guess before they had some places where they could leave it in a box and people could actually go there and get it. But, people could, just like with the ATMs, they could pull the box off and take everything in it. And again, we're putting Band-Aids on the problem, right? The problem is that we have a society where many people feel that it's okay to steal from others. And obviously the problem has gotten worse, or we wouldn't be talking about a Amazon key. My butler would go to the door, Wayne said. If you have Alexa, ask her if they are listening. I wouldn't have Alexa in my house. I know people do, but I wouldn't have that. I mean, we're listened to enough, right? So I think it's a crazy idea, but I guess people will probably love it and buy it and everything else. It'd be like a uh, Amazon Prime, but just a little bit better, for people who want special deliveries and put it inside the house so they don't have to worry that anybody's stealing it off their front porch. Mark of the beast. You're up, Lee said. I wouldn't have it either, Robin said. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Really kind of crazy. I don't know if anybody heard, but Sheriff Arpaio said that he may consider running for Arizona's open Senate seat now that Jeff Flake is going to leave. I honestly think he probably did that more as kind of a, thumbing his nose at Jeff. Hey, Amanda. I know, Amanda, why do you have to work? Yeah, political. I honestly think he's just saying that now. I think that Sheriff Arpaio shouldn't push his luck. I'm not saying, he's what, 85? It's just like, just go off and enjoy your life now. You got pardoned. Enjoy the rest of your life. Don't go back. Don't get into politics or anything else. He needs to go to bed. I wish I didn't have to work. I know, Amanda, don't we all? We could play the lottery and get rich, right? The Amazon thing is a trade of privacy, freedom for security. Yeah. Trading one for the other, right, Robert? I would never have Alexa in my home, Spencer said. I know, Sheriff Joe, retirement is calling. I think he probably just said that to make Jeff's head spin. And probably McCain and anybody else on the left. And I try lottery does not cooperate. I know, Amanda, it doesn't with me either. He can't help it if he's addicted, Kat said. I know, it's true. I mean, he should be, just go around, do public speaking, show up at some events and conferences, and just let it go, for Sheriff Arpaio. And I didn't see this yesterday. I didn't see this in the news. I saw this like maybe one place. You just saw the brother story, Cully said. Okay, cool. A screaming protester lobbed several small Russian flags at President Trump as he was walking to lunch with the Senate Republicans inside the U.S. Capitol. Now, why wasn't that on the news? Why didn't the Secret Service, before this guy got one flag lobbed at the president, why wasn't he taken down? I know. I mean, he was eventually arrested, but he got one off, He got one flag off there. Saw that on the video. I know, it's ridiculous. Saw that. How does that happen? I know, Barbara, and they were saying, well, he was not in any danger. How do you know? I don't think it was a reporter, Robert, not that I know of. But they said that Trump didn't even flinch. And the man who flung the flags, who was later arrested and identified by police as Ryan Clayton, shouted, "Trump is treason." He said, yelled, "The president has conspired with agents of the Russian government. We should be talking about treason in Congress, not about tax cuts." Yeah, again, this same guy is not talking at all about Hillary Clinton. Oh, really? That guy was in Obama's White House over 400 times, Cully said. Psh. Yeah. Well, when you lob anything at the president, I'm surprised the Secret Service didn't break his arms. Oh, okay, so is one of the older brother of the shooter, not the one we saw in the interview, is what you're saying is the one who was arrested. I think we'll have to all go look and get all the details of what happened. The younger brother or the older brother, who knows? I know, Secret Service should have, seriously, he never should have gotten his hand up more than that high. He should have been knocked to the ground immediately. Yes, they arrested him at an assisted living facility in Hollywood. Oh my gosh. In Hollywood. Really? California? Now that's hard to believe. The younger brother who already had a warrant out before the Las Vegas massacre. Awesome scope. All right. Thank you guys. If you would, please, if you could retweet part 1 and part 2, that would be great. Sorry that we had that little phone call, but his name is Bruce. Okay, Bruce Paddock. We'll have to all look that up. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you very much. God bless you. Take care. And we'll talk tomorrow. Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you on YouTube for coming by. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.